All right, live. Just gonna give it a second to double check, and yeah, we are good. We're live. Back again. This time with the skull again. This guy. And for those that watched the last stream, you saw me like really struggle with trying to navigate my way around Blender, especially with the modeling side of things. But this time around, I'm back and I've learned a few things. So hopefully, shouldn't be stumbling as much, and we gotta actually flesh this guy out a little bit more and just detail it out. So I was just placing these panels out around the face, going for that kind of, I guess, you know, that diesel punk kind of look. And you know, we kind of got something before with the reference. I'm just gonna grab the reference images again, and that way we can, I guess, use that as the starting point for what we should do next. So let me go look up the reference images that I've saved, and I was just using pure ref. So where is it? Reference. Yep, so here it is. Just gonna give it a second. There we go. So this is all the reference I was using. So for those that didn't watch the first stream, I was kind of basing it a lot on this kind of style. You know, I was trying to look for other features, like I like the round eyes on that, and I kind of like this kind of design as well around there, and as well as some of these like kind of pipes and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I might actually continue along this theme and then just try to flesh it out more. I do like that this is asymmetrical, whereas there's a lot of symmetry in this design. Something about the asymmetry I actually quite like, so I might try to go a little bit more towards this sort of design and have a tube, and maybe connect that tube back up to the head somewhere at the back. And these tubes before I was struggling with doing inside of Blender, but I actually feel like I have a good solution for it now. So let's try to close that out, and yeah, let's get to it. So move this over here so it's kind of out of the way, so it's a little bit smaller but big enough so that we can still see. So I might actually just kill this tube and do it the new method that I've learned, which was to create a curve, a Bezier curve. So it kind of creates this curve here. If I isolate, you can just see it's a pretty simple kind of curve. It creates this really weird shape to begin with. I'm not sure why they don't just make it straight. Maybe just because it's easier to grab this way. But what I'll do is I'll just grab this entire curve and just kind of move this into place, scale this up a whole bunch, and probably just rotate it as well. So navigating around Blender now is much more familiar, which is great. So I've kind of learned the hotkeys a little bit better. A lot of it is just kind of muscle memory, and yeah, just getting used to, you know, the way that Blender does things in terms of navigation. So I'm going to stick this guy over here, something like that. And I believe if you go here, you can actually use this kind of, let's see, geometry, is it? I'm trying to find where that was. Active spline, no. Let's see. Was it this one here? Yeah, so if you increase the depth there, you get this like tube-like thing, which is exactly what I was trying to figure out last time. Yeah, and that's one weird thing with Blender is it's just, you know, it's just very different in the way it does things sometimes, like even something like creating a tube. And this is not actually a piece of geometry. So if I go edit mode, it just shows me the curve. So unlike, you know, if I was inside of Maya, and I extrude it along a path, it's actual geometry. This is kind of like a sort of like a NURBS surface at the moment, and you have to, you know, later on just come and convert it, you know, somewhere up here, convert to mesh, and then it just makes it a mesh after. But I'll keep it as a curve for now, just so I can modify this. And let's just pop this here, stick it somewhere there like that, and yeah, let's kind of rotate this a little bit like this, and maybe just change the kind of tangents there like that. I do like this dynamic method, this like non-destructive way of creating these tubes though, which is kind of cool. And I think I want to add some more geometry in between these two, which I believe you just select. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I just so if I just take this depth off, and I think I just select both these points and then just subdivide, and it should, yeah, add additional points in between. So I can do something like this. Let's rotate along there. So yeah, compared to last time, I feel like way more comfortable. It's only been a couple of weeks messing around inside of Blender just to get to this stage, but I think it's, yeah, it's definitely much better knowing the hotkeys. Yeah, let's see what else I can do. You know, there's kind of interesting shapes there, which I don't quite have here, so let's see if I can do something a little bit more interesting. Let's go down like that, and let's rotate along this axis. And scale this in a bit. Maybe I want to come out a little bit like that, and let's see, do something like this perhaps. And I might add some more divisions. Yeah, so I think this is getting kind of a little bit closer to what I want. Maybe a little bit more like this, yeah. Okay. And this one can come out a bit, I think. Cool. Something like this for now. I think I'll have to play with this later, because I'm not super happy with it still, but this might be enough for now. Actually, what might be cool is if we go underneath the cheekbone there. I think that actually looks a little bit cooler. So let's come increase the depth, make this a little bit thicker, like that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cooler. And then I'll mirror this across, so using the mirror modifier, and let's pick our mirror plane, and there we go. So this little piece here as well, that's something I want to mirror, so I'll do the same. In fact, I'll just copy the modifiers over so we get the same mirror modifier. I think off camera I actually tweaked this a little bit, so it's not exactly the same as the end of the stream. I just deleted the faces. One thing I was totally not sure about was like how to, you know, like if I delete, like, so this is a good example, like I wasn't sure how to actually fill the empty gaps after deleting faces, you know, something as simple as that. But you know, let's go to the right view, isolate this, go to face selection, and I'll just kill like a whole bunch of those faces at the back there. Now it's actually very easy. You just hit F. So I figured that out, you know, after just kind of watching a few tutorials. But and then also have this plugin, which is F2, which I think is like pretty crucial if you do a lot of modeling. So let's see, add-ons, F2. So if anyone like who's like transitioning over to my enable F2 when you're modeling, because you can just select an edge and hit F and it'll automatically just fill in the edges for you. Pretty powerful stuff. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I think this time around I'll do a little bit more modeling. I want to model like this E piece in a little bit more. It looks a little bit strange there at the moment, so I kind of like that this is a little bit more like it feels like a little bit more like a piece of armor, you know, like a grate or something like that. This is too similar to what the eyes look like, so I'm gonna try to get this a little bit closer to what that was. So yeah, start by just changing this to based on local, pushing this in, scaling this out. And then those grates, I'm not sure how I'll deal with that. But yeah, might be an idea to just texture that in rather than trying to model it in, because not everything needs to be modeled. But yeah, let's go with this for now. Let's see what other things that we can add to this. So there's a lot of layers, I notice, with this kind of diesel punk look. There's a lot of layers on top of layers. So that's kind of what I'm missing at the moment, is just some layers. You know, the shape of this looks not so good in terms, it's just very square. So I might actually try to change up the shape a little bit and just make it a little bit more interesting. This is kind of cool that it goes back there like that. And there's a piece that kind of comes down. I might reverse that and just have a piece. Yeah, maybe a piece do the opposite somehow. Let's see. Just play with some shapes, add some shapes in. Move this up, scale. Scale this down. And a cool trick I actually learned was you can just extrude, if you wanted to just extrude the faces, you can just, I believe, hold down Control and right click, and it just extrudes out faces, which is kind of crazy. It didn't do such a great job there, but that's just yeah, it was really surprising that you could even do that to begin with. Yeah, so if you wanted, you could kind of extrude out like this. It does look a little bit weird though. Yeah. Let's reset my 3D cursor. I think I might just extrude this out manually, and just kind of place this out. Okay. And this here, extrude this guy out. And now here's the tricky part, like how do we want to shape this out? Maybe I'll start thinner here, just to kind of conform to what I already have. And then we go thicker as we get towards this midsection. And then we can get thinner again as we come towards the nose bridge. And yeah, maybe kind of straighten it out there like that. But yeah, this might actually work. This might actually work, so I'll keep this for now. We keep playing around with the shapes because I don't want to lock anything in just yet. It's just a little bit too early to make you know, decisions that are very, yeah, very final, I guess. Just fix up some of the thickness here just by rotating this. And here, yeah, maybe I'll just leave it so that it's kind of hanging. You know, a lot of this design is, it just doesn't fit very well. It's kind of maybe like a signature look for this kind of diesel punk sort of stuff. It's like nothing really fits that well. It's just kind of bolted on and welded on, and just very kind of poorly manufactured, but also looks very sturdy. So that's the kind of aesthetic which makes it easy to model, surprisingly. Like that kind of janky looking thing. And I'm not really happy with this square kind of shape, so I'm not sure how I'll deal with this. Maybe I'll try to cut out a portion. Maybe I'll cut down the middle a little bit, and see if that works. So I mean, this one I was sculpting before, so it might be easier just to fall back on the sculpting tool for this one and just yeah, just kind of pull this midsection down a little like that. Just trying to give it some more like shape, really. Definitely want to turn on the mirroring before I do anything. And yeah, let's see. Pull this down a little, make it a bit angrier. This turned off again. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this doesn't seem to mirror that well, does it? Am I mirroring across the wrong axis? Yeah, this doesn't like being mirrored, does it? Okay, so let's see. I might just delete half the faces and just mirror and just like merge it together again. Do something very destructive like that. So that at least the mirroring is working. So let's try something like that where let's go to front view and just grab all the faces halfway around, delete, and yeah, just duplicate this across the mirror plane again. So I can use a modifier mirror and mirror across the mirror plane, and let's bake this down, and then we try to remesh this in the sculpting tab. So remesh, and let's make sure that it's kind of done an okay job. The middle's still a little bit janky, but might be able to just fix this by just kind of smoothing it out and just remeshing it again. Just very dirty kind of modeling. But whatever does the trick, eh? Alright, so let's see. Yeah, it's still not mirroring this across the it's got like a weird plane. I wonder if there's some strange, yeah, there's some strange rotation, so that's probably what it is. There we go. Alright, that's better. Yeah. So if anyone's got any like questions about like transitioning over to Blender, feel free to just drop it in the comments while I'm still live. You know, I see it, there's a couple of viewers here. Honestly, like I'm not like a maxi with when it comes to any sort of like software. Like I really don't care what the software is. It at the end of the day, it just comes down to the artistry of it all. And as cheesy as it sounds, like you know, it doesn't really matter. Just be a good artist, and like the software, it's just a tool at the end of the day. But Blender's free, and there's no reason not to use it because it's free, you know. Alright, I think the shape of this I'm a little bit happier with now. It's a little bit more interesting. But we can do more with this. I feel like we can probably do a little bit more with this. Let's move this bridge in a little bit so it's conforming to the goggle shape a little bit closer. But maybe we have something that kind of comes across, like some sort of metal piece that kind of comes across the cheekbone here. You know, kind of maybe following along the cheekbone even. So go back to the modeling tab, make a new piece, and let's just place this out somewhere here. Okay, something like that. And let's start adding some topology to this guy. not concerned about like having like perfect topology right now, to be honest. You know, it's just gonna slow me down when it comes to just designing something I'm happy with. Should this go in front or behind? That's the next question. What would look more interesting? Maybe in front and then kind of connecting down here somewhere. Something like that. It's surprising like what just a few weeks, you know, not even a few weeks, it's really just like, I think I've spent like maybe a total of like 10 hours modeling in Blender, maybe even less, you know, maybe it's only been like 6 hours. And a lot of it is just like Googling stuff, you know, so it's not even like a lot of time spent modeling. But yeah, the muscle memory starts to kick in and you start like learning the hotkeys and stuff. And then, yeah, that's when things like the magic really happens. Like even just starting this stream till now, I feel like just like getting into it again. I haven't used Blender in a few days, so just getting into it again, it just feels way more just natural. Like all the hotkeys, you know, it just kind of flows. Let's see, let's thin this out a bit. And then let's copy over the modifier. So let's do something like this. Copy modifiers. There we go. All right, so yeah, following the cheekbone. Let's do something at the back of the head too. So what could we put at the back that makes sense? There's some straps here with some stuff back there. That's kind of interesting. Some tubes. You know, I was saying before, maybe we break the symmetry of this. So like maybe I'll do something that kind of comes around the head here and then connects at the back of the head here, and we have some sort of shape like that. That could be pretty cool, and break up the symmetry a little. So yeah, something that connects into the head there like that. But yeah, so yeah, let's create a new cylinder and make this like 16. And yeah, let's move this somewhere here. Flatten this out a bit. Yeah, and I'll probably need to create like some sort of plating that exists around there. And even the whole like the head around here, maybe it needs to be some sort of glass, or because I want to see through to the teeth, but it doesn't really make sense to see the teeth and have like this kind of like closed gas mask design, because the gas would just leak, right, or whatever oxygen or whatever the character's breathing. So it doesn't make sense to have this kind of clear, so I'll probably need to cover this up with some sort of glass or something like that at a later point. But yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get as far as I can in this one stream. Not spend too long on like little things, but you know, I think inevitably I'm just gonna like get stuck doing some stupid thing. But let's just try to pick up the pace a bit. And I'm gonna duplicate this and just reuse this because we've already kind of you know, subdivided this a little, so we can just reuse this here. Let's rotate this guy around. Maybe just do this back to front instead. So place this out here. And then this one I said will go around to the back of the head here, so. And I want this one to be even thicker, I think, than those ones there. So we'll play around with the thickness in a bit, but let's just get the shape working for now. That's the origin point. Yeah, I want this to come down, and then I actually want this to be higher up here, like this, so that we kind of get this kind of look. Where is it? This guy. So we kind of come from the bottom up into the head there, which I think would be pretty cool. So do something like that. This almost needs to go up, and I feel like I need just one more division here just to help get this shape doing what I want. And I'll keep this closer to the face, I think, around this area here. And probably add another division here. Subdivide. Yeah, something like this. This one's too long. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with this for now. I'll figure this out later. I might even do some pieces that kind of come around to keep this in place. And this increase the depth like I said I would. And in fact, I might use this profile here and see if we can do something more interesting. No, it's not really what I want. I wonder if there's a way to actually play with the profile along the curve. Start and end mapping. Let's see. Okay, that just looks like the sweep, which isn't really what I want either. Taper, here we go. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, neither of these things are what I want. So I mean, I might just have to convert this and then just do it manually. Yeah, I'll just leave this piece for now. I'll convert this eventually to like geometry, and then I'll probably just like thicken this up myself just by playing around with the vertices. But surely there's a way to thicken, you know, there's a taper here, but I'm just not quite sure. There's also a map taper, but this is probably something I need to look up. Yeah. But yeah, let's keep going. I want to create some sort of tubing as well to fit the back of the head and also fill out the space at the back here, because it's kind of a bit empty. So yeah, probably just grab like another cube and just start from there. Scale. Rotate it this way. something like this. It's good enough, and we'll create like some sort of tubing to like an entry point for this tube there. So yeah, there's a comment here by Al. Are you using Blender hotkeys? I am not using the navigation hotkeys for Blender because I'm switching between Houdini, Maya, Unreal, and it's just too much. And Substance Painter, and the good thing about Houdini, Maya, Unreal, and Substance Painter is that they all use alt navigation. So, left click to tumble, right click to zoom out, and middle click to pan. So I'm not going to learn Blender's navigation system as much as I would like to. I'm just like way beyond that point, I think. And that's just something I'm not worth, like it's not worth sacrificing for me. So yeah, I decided I'm just gonna change the navigation. So for those that don't know, I might bring this up. So if you change your navigation, there's a few things you need to change. So these are all my notes. So here my Blender notes are here. Let's see. Hotkeys. No, that's not it. Let's go to here. Preferences. There we go. So here, let me just hide that pure ref. So for those that are curious about the alt navigation, if you want to change your alt navigation, you pretty much have to change all these hotkeys here, as well as like fixing the conflicts. And then there's a conflict with the knife tool as well. So if you're doing a lot of modeling, you have to also update the knife tool. So yeah, I'll probably just like, just kind of scroll down like this. So for those that kind of want to, just read through this and remap the navigation system to match, you can just take a look at this. And then there's also one last thing which I've changed in terms of the navigation. So if I go to the preferences, the one last thing I changed was my zoom axis is horizontal instead of vertical, which is the default. So I think Blender's zoom is reversed. So if you pull out the mouse, if you pull it down, it zooms out, and if you push in, it zooms in, and that's the opposite to Maya's one. You can invert it, I believe. So you can invert the mouse zoom direction, and then it matches Maya's one. But yeah, it just to me it's more natural just to go left and right, because Houdini has it has the same problem with it being reversed. But for whatever reason, in all programs, if you set it to horizontal and you get used to zooming horizontally, it's the same in Houdini, Maya, and Blender and Unreal. So I just set it to that, and apart from that, everything else is default Blender hotkeys. Yeah, so alright, let's copy this modifier over just so I can start to see how this thing lines up. And I think it's too thick. I just want to create more like interesting detail. So I might do something like this and then just duplicate this again and just kind of move this back here like that. Yeah, this to me is more interesting than just having one piece. And then I might start playing around with the thickness of these pieces. So these ones might actually be a bit thinner, but overlap a little potentially. And I might grab this and just move this a bit higher. Yeah, and then just rotate, scale, pull this back out a bit. Okay, something like this. And let's add cylinder. The snapping is one of the hardest parts, like to understand in Blender, like how to snap things. Yeah, it's the way you snap things in Blender is very different than the way you snap things in Maya. So especially when modeling, I ended up using a lot of like the 3D cursor to snap to vertices, and you got to do all kinds of crazy stuff and like make your own custom orientations and things like that in order to snap things. So that took me a long time to learn. But yeah, just for those that know, like that, you know, like I don't even know if I should bother doing an example, because it's just not really fun to watch someone struggle how to snap. I don't like how this is doing that, so I might just do a little bit of modeling, just bevel this edge out just for now. Not quite sure if we're going to end up doing something like that in the end, but yeah, I just want to start to see how this is looking once I start putting all these pieces together. Yeah, could do something interesting here as well. So I've got that tube going in there, but something feels like it's missing here. Maybe it needs like another one of these like sort of things sticking out, or some sort of tank, you know, have some sort of tanks at the back there. Maybe I'll do something like that. Just start improvising a little. Yeah, so create like some sort of tank that sticks out. And then connect that up somehow to the mesh there. Not sure how again, but just kind of gonna just wing this a little bit. Figure out how these things connect later, because it's just it's a bit painful trying to like model properly when you're trying to figure out the design. This might be a little bit high because I don't want to block that stuff that I've built there. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. And since we have this here, but we don't have any kind of volume, like everything feels very heavy on that side, I might actually take a piece like this and then just kind of, yeah, place it here somewhere. Maybe it's a little bit flatter, but have something there like that just to help balance this out a bit. Okay, so things are starting to come together. I'm gonna make these shade smooth and then turn on the auto smooth for this. If someone knows like a quicker way to do this, please let me know, because the only way I know is to do each piece at a time manually. Shade smooth, auto smooth, and this piece also shade smooth, auto smooth. And looks like I could use a couple of divisions here. Okay, so it's starting to look better. Yeah, I think I need to really fill out this jaw area as well. And I don't want to add more pieces because we already have a lot of like a lot of separate pieces. So let's grab this again and see if there's something that we can find that we can use that could look pretty cool. I might try to just create one piece that kind of it's like a one big piece towards the bottom, sort of like we see here a little. I mean, these are two pieces, but I think we can do something like that where it's just one piece, and maybe, I mean, maybe I'll just make another piece. And if I want to connect it later, I can do that. But yeah, let's just do one piece, keep it simpler for now. So yeah, I might have this come all the way across to here. And then we can add some more topology here. And then we probably want to just extrude upwards, I think. To here, and then try to connect this up somehow. Yeah, I think something like this. And this here might rotate it across a little bit like that. And this piece here, I think it'll benefit from bringing it out just a tad. And then we're getting this kind of crazy intersection there, but shouldn't be too hard to fix. So pull this out a bit. And then this piece here, let's just move it in a little, just like that. It's fine. Cool, and look, it's starting to look pretty crazy, like with all the different shapes. So it's good, the blocking's coming along. You know, the back here, I'm not quite sure what I'll do, really. Maybe some sort of fabric. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to go off here, but yeah, I think I might just go to some sort of fabric, I think, at the back. Might not be that cool though, but maybe some sort of fabric that kind of comes down. I'm not planning to do the body, so it's really just a skull mask at this point. And I'll need to bend this as well at some point, bend that down. The thickness looks a little bit thin now, so might just give it a little bit of thickness again. And I guess we can start fleshing out some of these models, like some of these pieces that we blocked out. So, you know, going off something like this, looks like there's just like a few levels of detail that kind of come out. So we can try that. Just make this smaller. Put it here. And how do I grab this entire thing? There we go. Can just inset this whole thing. Sometimes I'm not sure if I should really be modeling this stuff in. You know, if it's even worth doing all this detail in the model itself. Probably not. I don't like that actually. So maybe what I'll do instead is something like this. And I'll just kill these faces. And then just extrude this inwards instead. Where's my snapping options? Ah, I snap to vertices. Oops. And we can just try bridge this together, see if that works. Shade smooth, auto smooth. Yeah, might move this a bit closer. One other thing I learned was if you want to make the viewport look a bit cooler, just turn on the cavity and set this to both, and yeah, like everything just instantly looks like way more like it gives you all these bevels. So if you're doing low poly modeling, it definitely helps. But at this early stage, I don't want to add all the little bevels, so this will actually help me not have to focus on the beveling so much. Yeah, which I think is a good idea. So, and I'm just gonna grab all these guys too and just shade smooth, auto smooth, auto smooth. And I still need to add some more panels to help support like stuff like that. Pull that in a bit. Actually move this outwards a little. Let's see if I can just add some sort of plate there. Yeah, I'm like thinking intensely about what to do. That's probably why I'm so quiet. It's really hard to like think and be creative and just like do something else at the same time. It's probably why you don't have that many live streams for like 3D art or just, yeah, or animation. It's because it just takes so much concentration sometimes. I mean, I'm not super happy with this plate. Yeah, I'm just not so sure what to do with those bits out like I've done. And just try actually work around this somehow. Like maybe having having this plate here kind of come across, and then that way we can kind of, you know, rivet this piece onto that piece back there, and I think that actually will work better. So we'll do something like that. So just extrude this out here, And extrude this out one more time. And I think once I solve this, I'll probably just end the stream here for now. And, you know, when we come back, hopefully I'll know like a few more things like again. And each time I come back, the plan is that I'll be a little bit better than the last stream. So the next stream should feel a lot more comfortable than I do in this stream. So yeah, something like this. We can twist as we go further. But here I sort of want it a bit flat so we can just play it as if like, yeah, these two pieces are joined. And let's grab these, maybe shift this down a bit. Just make the join a little bit more like a nice join down like that. And same here, let's push this down a bit. And I might even just like bevel a hole later and just have this, you know, a little bit more, you know, with an interesting shape. Cool. Let's copy this modifier over. So yeah, I think we're getting somewhere, but just very slowly getting there. And in this piece here, I think what might be interesting is we go in down towards there, come back up and then connect up with this piece there. So could do something like that. Let's see, let's grab just that and just start extruding this out, moving this up towards there. Maybe something like this, and getting the rotation right, of course. Rotating this correctly as well. Connecting that piece up, yeah. So I think this is working a little bit better than what I was doing before. Starting to feel a little bit more cohesive. Alright, I'll consider that this area has been solved a little bit for now. Still a lot to do in terms of just the overall design. Still need to retopper these pieces, and then yeah, just figure out like how to flesh out all the actual geometry, you know, do all the extrusions and the bevels and all that sort of good stuff. But I think for now this is probably good enough. And yeah, I mean, I'll keep learning all these crazy Blender hotkeys and different Blender ways of doing things, and hopefully by the next time I'm back it'll be like full steam ahead with the modeling for this sort of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time.